Alright guys, welcome to the next episode of the Gran Turismo 4 Let's Play. I believe we're on episode 11, and a lot has changed, as obviously you guys can tell I'm not in the GT1 from last episode. Where actually, in a Minolta, I actually made only to race 6 and was just so struggling, and I was getting too frustrated, frankly, so I decided to scrap all those. So I think that would have been like, what, episode 13, I believe, of the series? So I wound up scrapping it. I went back and actually did the El Capitan race to get the Minolta. And then I've done a lot with it. I've got two different setups. I've got a high horsepower setup that is set up for races like the Super Speedway, R246, Sarfe, and others of that kind of caliber. And for Hong Kong as well as New York, I have a lower horsepower setup that is more focused on endurance. I may actually run a mix though of the two. But what we're gonna do, as Hong Kong's notably a race I struggled with in the original recordings, and it's just a track I don't know very well. So we're going to do the practice runs to qualify and try to get an advantage on this, because again, this is a race I'm going to struggle with. So this is I believe, the lower horsepower setup, which is just an oil change on top of the normal Minolta with hard rears and the medium fronts to try to save the tires. I've already tested this setup. Yesterday I did it, and I'm surprised it didn't actually save where I'd qualified yesterday. But I qualified first yesterday. And that's kind of my point here, is I want to qualify because this is a race I know I'm going to struggle with, and I'm probably going to do the same thing with New York. And pretty much the majority of the tracks I struggle with, that I know I'm going to have a hard time with. This is not one of them, or this is one of them. El Capitan I'm not too worried about, which I believe is next episode. I believe Seoul is going to be our second track of this episode. So pretty much I'm just going to get a lap on it, qualify, get a good qualifying spot, hopefully get into the lead, get pole position, and we'll be able to start the race with a pretty good advantage. Alright, so here we go. We're starting our qualifying lap. We got to make this count, because I don't want to be out here too long, because I don't want to keep this episode super long. The original recording was 45 minutes of this episode, and while I'm okay with having some long episodes like that, I'd rather keep that to a minimum, you know. Of course, this car does have, I don't actually know what shot of nitrous this car has. I actually didn't adjust it. I left it be because I wanted to be able to get a lot of use out of it. Go and get those backs heated up. Oop, clip that wall a little sharp. Oh, not good there. That's, come on, car. That turn's going to be the death of me. So, Hong Kong is an 18-lap race, which has me a little nervous, not going to lie. But, because it took a while last time out, but I already tested the car. I know it's going to make it 10 laps on the original set of tires. And honestly, I feel like I should have pulled out all the stops for a qualifying run. Like, you know, the 1200 horsepower setup this car has. And there we go. Qualified on pole position. I think we are set up to actually go ahead and race. Alright, so here we go. 18 laps of Hong Kong, and we're going to give it our absolute best shot here to take home a win. Alright, let's get this show on the road here. Qualifying on pole is a really good move for me. I'm glad I was able to do that. I meant to check the tire setup because I'm a little paranoid. But I know I set the car into its second mode yesterday. After I'd actually, like I said, I practice ran last night, and then I already had the car in its second mode, which is the setup it's currently running. Ooh, really solid turn one. Oh, not a very good turn two, though. That was a bit on the rough side. That could have been better. Oh, great. There we go. Already on the struggle bus. Tires need to get a little warm here. And those mediums on the front always take a while to get warm. Use the spray a little bit to get a move on and try to catch back up with the leader here. So this other Minolta here is going to be a bit of a challenge for me, as it is technically another stock Minolta. Ooh, the curbstone there. Throwing the car off a little bit. I have a very mild horsepower advantage. That's like my claim to fame with this race, is that I have like a 5 horsepower advantage over the plain stock Minolta. So I mean, it's going to be on me this entire race. So I got to be on my game and ready to go this race. I gotta be fast and careful. That's be kind of the name of the game for this race here. There we go. Fantastic turn 1. Alright, here we go. Back onto the back straight. So, when I actually did my original practice runs last night, I torture tested the car. And I put this thing, like, through it all. And I made it to lap 10 before I had to pit. So, a lot better, because I think I had to stop on, like, lap 7 or 8 last time out. And so, the tires are going to be pretty much spent at the end of the race. But, unlike my original runs with the GT1, I'm not going to have to stop quite so often, which is kind of my problem with the original recordings of episodes 11 through 13, is that I was stopping every so often, and I had to stop twice some races, and I was chancing it too much because I had faith that I could, hold the tires down for an extra lap, and I had blowouts several times over. I believe episode 13, the original recording, I had 2 blowouts on both races and wound up finishing 4th in both races. And I was just getting too frustrated to really want to upload it. So I thought it'd be better just to go back, do some off-screen grinding a little bit, practice some more, get a different car to race, and go ahead and go out there with it. I thought about bringing the 787B out instead, but I decided probably just be my best bet. Just go ahead and get a Minolta. The recommendations I saw said to run hard tires on the rear and mediums up front, and I'm fine with that personally. This seems to be doing a really good setup so far. I was running all mediums for the first 2 races, as I did the GT1, and pretty much this car is doing a lot better in terms of endurance as well as performance, because this car does technically make more horsepower, and I believe it weighs less than the GT1 as well. So technically, right now, even though it's making less horsepower than the GT1, it's technically faster because it handles better and it's a bit lighter. Oh, that was a very sloppy turn too. Still bouncing off the walls like it's pinball here. I am glad I practiced though last night, because I was able to get a better hold on this track. Because my main problem is I'm coming in too fast after this turn here. I'm slamming the brakes at the 100-meter sign usually. And once these tires are hot, this thing grips so well. I want to get a really good best lap on this. I want to see if I can get like a 108. So glad I'm not running the 1200 horsepower setup on this, because I would be in trouble. Alright, so we're halfway through my tire life cycle here from my torture test yesterday. Man, we are moving on this lap. This is a really solid outing here. Coming into the back straight here. I'm going to actually giggle gas it a little bit here to try to get away. Slowed down a little bit earlier since I was going considerably faster. Probably slowed down a little early there. Man, I am doing really well right now. I'm actually pretty proud. I mean, this car is, of course, broken, and a lot of people are going to be like, dude, why? But I feel like at this point, really, this race is pretty much, unless you're just really good at racing like this, it's almost a must to have this car, and which is unfortunate. But the fact the AI uses it makes it incredibly hard to keep up with it. Because I believe it is technically the fastest Group C or LMP style car in the game. That's not the freaking C60 Hybrid from PSP onward. I actually do have access to emulators for PSP as well, so if you guys want to see a video, like a let's play after this of Gran Turismo PSP, we might be able to do that as well. That game is probably less linear, which makes it a little more difficult to film a let's play of, but I might be able to do that for you guys. I'm working on trying to wait out and see how I can do a Gran Turismo 5 let's play for you guys, because I do want to do a GT5 let's play. So we may see what's going on there with that. We may try to get that going for you guys in the future. Ooh, lots of understeer going there, but we are good to go. So yeah, about 3 more laps and I'll be looking to pit and get these tires replaced and get this car set up to really hurt some feelings out here. I do know for sure that Minolta's probably going to catch me while I'm in the pits, and I'm just going to have to rely on it stopping. Because while this car is technically faster than the lead racing Minolta, which I don't technically understand really, because really this is just a stock Minolta with an oil change. Right now it is, at least, with it not running the giant turbo on it. The only upgrade this car actually has over stock right now is the nitrous kit, and of course the different tire setup. I don't even think I've adjusted the suspension. I think this is stock tuning on the suspension as well. Alright, so one more lap. We'll be halfway through the race. This is a rather long race, so I apologize for how long this episode's probably going to be. But regardless, I think just doing these videos is so fun, and I'm having a great time filming these. And, you know, I pay attention to the analytics of this channel, and I know at the end of the day I shouldn't be comparing it to my main channel, which is, comparing a 58 subscriber channel at the time I'm recording this with this channel, and then comparing it to my 1,300 subscriber YouTube channel. Obviously, there's going to be a rather large gap in viewership, but, I noticed that they don't get a lot of views, and granted, that could probably be attained to the fact that my channel is 58 subscribers. But at the end of the day, I film these mainly because I love doing them. I've wanted to do a Let's Play of Gran Turismo for years and years, and being able to finally do one is great, and especially on one that I love. I mean, I'll be honest, I love all the Gran Turismo games, but I don't love them all equally. My favorites have always been 3 through 5. 3 is very nostalgic for me. I grew up playing 3. Granted, I was 2 years old when 3 came out, but my dad never actually bought Gran Turismo 4. My dad bought Gran Turismo 3 to try out Gran Turismo because he heard all these things about it, because it was kind of a big deal in the PlayStation 1. And my dad is also a car guy. It's where I get a lot of my car guy heritage from. And he bought Gran Turismo 3 to try out Gran Turismo, and he hated it. And for some reason, I fell in love with it. And I've been playing Gran Turismo for my entire life. And GT3 was like the most nostalgic for me. I played so much of it as a kid. And I wound up skipping it. And I got 5 prologue from a Blockbuster. And I was like, wait, where was Gran Turismo 4? So once I started making my own money, I actually wound up buying this game on PS2 and going back and playing through it for the first time. I still have yet to actually finish a copy of GT4. But it's super, like, these games are super nostalgic to me. And 4 I don't have as much nostalgia with because, again, I didn't get it till later in life. But you know, GT5 Prologue I have a decent bit of nostalgia with, which is why I actually like GT5 Prologue, even though the game is so limited in comparison to other games in the series. Even GT Sport. Like, GT Sport is like a sore subject for me because I don't like that it's considered a main series game when it's not really inventive. You know, doesn't have all the experiences of the main games. Like, that's why I prefer the older games like this, and 5 and 3 and even 6. I love 6. So here we go, pitting in on lap 10 here. Trying to get the best racing possible out of this car. We're doing a fantastic job. We made it to lap 10 without no problems. And there's actually another car pitting behind us, and I believe that's probably the Gillette. Yeah, so there's the Gillette passing us by. Several cars have entered pit lane. I don't know which all have. I believe everyone's pitting. Which is great news for me. Alright, back on track we go. I believe I saw the Minolta back there. Our second place car, which means I'm going to have a lot of time to build up ground. Ooh, lots of understeer coming into these turns here. I'm on cold tires. I need a second to get warmed up and get ready to rock. But yeah, I've been playing Gran Turismo for a very long time, and I have a lot of nostalgia towards the older Gran Turismo, which is why I'm excited to see GT5, or GT7, excuse me. I'm nervous, like, to see if I'm even going to be able to experience it, because I have no intentions on buying a PS5. I just don't. I like the controller. I mean, I'm using the controller right now, but I don't have any intentions on buying the actual console, because they're expensive and they're hard to find, and I play a majority of games on PC, so I mean, I don't really see a need to buy it outside of Gran Turismo, which is why I've been a huge proponent of moving the game to PC for years. I don't know Sony's relationship with Polyphony, if it's like, you know, Sony owns them or something like that. So I don't know what kind of possibility that would be if Gran Turismo wanted to get ported to PC. I don't know what Polyphony thinks on the subject. I would really like it, though, because for me especially, I play a lot of Gran Turismo, and I would love to be able to have the newest games on a system that I actually play a lot of. I don't want it to be like where GT Sport is, where I don't play much the PS4 because, again, PC. And, you know, I've hardly put any hours into Sport because of it. I've never done any of the rally races. I've barely done majority of the game. I usually only play GT Sport when I really want to play a modern Gran Turismo title and that has online function now. And even then, I don't do online because freaking PSN costs money now. And I think it's kind of ridiculous for me to pay, you know, money for a service I'm not going to utilize. That's why I don't pay for Xbox Live or PSN anymore. I don't utilize the services enough. And with PC, on Xbox games and PC like Forza, I mean, they don't even require it to play online. But that's kind of my rant on consoles for now, I guess. I still love game consoles. I mean, obviously I collect them. But I definitely am frustrated with how the market works right now with all the online stuff and the fact that games are just getting more and more expensive. I gave Nintendo a lot of love for keeping online free, and even they have dropped to it. Granted, they made it affordable, because the problem is that PSN and Xbox are very expensive, and I actually utilize the Switch Online a lot, and all of its added extras and stuff like that, because since you guys know I'm an avid Pokemon player as well. Maybe that'll be the next Let's Play I do. Maybe I'll do Gran Turismo and then I'll try out Pokemon. I love doing Let's Plays on both games, so I think it'd be fun to go from Gran Turismo to Pokemon. And then, of course, starting work on another Gran Turismo Let's Play I think would be fun after the conclusion of this, whenever that is. There's no telling when I'll probably finish any sort of Let's Play on this. This is one of those games I could probably play forever. So we're down to 5 laps to go, guys. We are doing fantastic. Qualifying was probably the best decision I could have made. Get out of here, Vertigo. I commented in the original recording about how good the Vertigo actually used to be, which I thought was kind of funny. Because GT3, I distinctly remember the Vertigo being a bit of a threat, and now it's kind of a joke. I mean, the majority of the cars in this race are lapping it. Including me. And I'm kind of a bad driver when it comes to this game. I mean, I would say, like, I'm no pro, but I'd like to say I'm halfway decent at Gran Turismo. I think it's one of those games I've played long enough, and I've gotten old enough to understand how to play it right, that I'm better at it than I used to be. But when I was a kid, I mean, I put a lot of work into this game trying to get good. And I remember one of the very first times I went go-kart racing with my dad when I was maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10. I treated the go-kart races as if I were playing Gran Turismo and trying to take racing lines and stuff like that. I was like clipping apexes at 9 years old on a go-kart track, like an amusement park kind of thing. So not even like actual karting. It's fun. I enjoy like actual racing, and I'd love to do it one day. Like, I wish I had money, dude. If I had money, I would probably be like a private team racer, you know, on my pastime and stuff like that. Maybe one day. Maybe one day if I ever come into a lot of money. I mean, the career I'm going to college for, I don't know how much it'll wind up paying me, but if it pays a lot of money, I am definitely wanting to do some private team racing kind of activities during my downtime. I think it'd be fun, but we'll have to wait and see. All I know is the Minolta's great. I thought the GT1 was great. I love the GT1 and the 787B, but this car is technically better. I think I do want to have a shootout between the three, though. So I think eventually, like a later episode, once we do kind of all the main events I want to cover for the Let's Play, we'll do a shootout between all the fastest cars from Gran Turismo 4, like the Escudo, or Escudo. I don't know exactly what it's pronounced, if anyone could correct me on that. The GT1, the 787B, the R982, I mean, throwing out all the fastest cars in the game against each other head to head, I think would be fun. And seeing exactly what they can do. Alright, guys, coming into our third to last lap here. Pulling out all the stops here to try to win this race here. I think we are plenty fine. We've got a giant lead. It looks like I am starting to fly up on a second car that's on the back straight right now. So who knows, maybe the next 2 laps I'll have lap 2 cars. But that pit stop advantage I have over the Minolta and the 2 Nissans is wonderful, because that has just saved this race for me, really. I saw they were pitting in behind me, and I was like, oh, I'm really winning this now, because I'm going to get out of pits and have a giant head lead on them. And I'm doing pretty all right in this race right now. Like, I'm not making too many mistakes, and I don't know whether it's because I'm relaxed, because I'm in first place, or what. But next race, I'm going to be at Seoul. I am going to be running the higher horsepower setup, I believe. I think I'm going to switch to the 1200 horsepower setup. Because when I did this in the GT1, it handled Seoul fine. I had no issues with Seoul. El Capitan, I'm kind of curious about, and New York as well. They're both going to be races I set up, this setup that I'm running right now, I believe. My endurance-y setup. Whew, man. There's a little bit of nitrous. We're going to go ahead and use up the nitrous here. This thing is a monster. Ooh, clip that curbstone. Send me to the wall a little bit. Ooh, coming in really fast into turn 1 here on the final lap of the race. I'd say that's a fantastic outing for this car, guys. I am really happy with how this has gone. I'm just ready to showcase this car's true potential. Granted, I don't have that like 300-something mile an hour setup that people run on these cars set up at all. I don't really intend on it because it's just scary fast. Like these things become uncontrollable at that speed. So it's good for test course, not good for actual racing. I think the AMG is ahead. Ooh, hit that curbstone a little too hard. Definitely no best laps on this lap, but very good race. That was good stuff, guys. $25K added on. Good stuff. So here we go with Seoul. I'm not even going to bother qualifying for this race. I'm not worried about it. We am going to switch to setup A, though, which is going to bump us up to 1216 from 960 horsepower here. Which is going to switch us to having mediums on the rear, which is going to add a little bit of extra grip as well, because this car is, of course, dangerously fast at 1200 horse. I'm curious to see how this goes, to say the least. Nothing else to do. We give it a shot. So there you go, 19 laps of Seoul. This is not a terribly long race, but we of course are going to, be having a longer episode. Time to let this thing go. I'm ready to see this thing at full power. So I do have the gears lengthened out on this as well. Because this car definitely needs it. It's pretty quick with the stock gearing, but it runs out of gear very quickly. So having this thing at full tilt is going to be fun, to say the least. And these tires are finishing heat up because kind of need them right now. Here we go. Giggle gas on lap 1. See what this car can get up to in terms of speed. Whew, 240 miles an hour coming into turn 1. Not enough, though, to overtake the Minolta and stay ahead. Oof. Lots of limiter. A little bit of a wall tap. This thing is crazy. Ooh, this would be a bad wall tap. Lap 4, here we go. Ooh, clip that wall a little. Clip that turn a little too sharp. Coming into the last turn here. We have a giant lead right now, and I'm pretty happy about that. The GT1 did not have this lead. Granted, I'm also making 100 more horsepower, and I'm still lighter than the GT1. This thing is scary, guys. Like, I did not expect it to be this fast. There's the second place car. This lead is rather large this race. Like, I knew the GT1, I was pretty far ahead. I was not expecting to be this far ahead with the Minolta though. Granted, again, the Minolta is technically superior. How did this not be as successful as like the 787B? I genuinely want to know. It's like Toyota seems to just have the worst luck when it comes to Le Mans and stuff like that, and up until recently, I mean, in the last couple of years they've won. So mainly because Audi and Porsche I don't think are even competing anymore, but lap 7, I think we're doing pretty fine on tires actually, which I believe when I was in the GT1 I had to pit on either lap 8 or 9. So the fact that the tires are doing fine right now is actually kind of surprising. I fully expected to be getting ready to pit. I don't know if it's because this car doesn't have so much wheel spin or what, because the GT1 had a lot of wheel spin. Last turn here. Ooh, flip that wall a little sharp. So we're getting ready to lap a car. We're about halfway through the race now. Looks like we are caught up to the AMG and the Vertigo. I can see it. And the distant, like pretty... Ooh. Give me the block there. Oh, bounce off the wall a little bit there. Get out of the way. Thank you very much. Alright, so we're probably going to get one more lap out of that rear left. And then go ahead and pit. So we're going to be pitting in lap 9, which is about where I thought I'd be pitting again. If the GT1 was anything to go off of. Whoa. go. Lots of understeer, but we're good. The fact that the Minolta is at the beginning of the lap is startling because, granted, I was about to say this is a stock car, but this isn't a stock car. This one is a fully built, giant turbo version of the car. So, getting ready to go into our pit for this lap, for the race. Very good outing so far for the Minolta here. Here we go. Next lap. Answering a text message in the pits. I don't know many racing drivers who would do that. Be like, my wife texted me. I'm going to text back in the middle of this pit stop. Wouldn't that be something? That would be such a Gen Z move. Coming from someone who's in Gen Z. Anyway, we got 9 laps to go. I didn't even get overtaken in the pits, even though I do believe that is the Minolta coming up behind us here. Yep, that sure is. Entering our last turn here. We got 9 laps to go. And we are doing fantastic. Alright, lap 11. We got 8 laps to go. And we are doing 9 laps to go. Yeah. No, 8, yeah. 19 lap race, not 20. Fact of the matter is I'm setting much faster lap times than I did in the GT1 in this car. Back tires are already warm, which is good because this car needs the grip. And I see the front ones to heat up too, so I get some extra front grip because this car understeers a lot when it's cold. Ooh, lots of understeer there too. That turned a little too wide. The 1200 horsepower setup of this car is deadly. Seeing this thing get up to about 250 miles an hour in the straightaway is wild, to say the least. Those fronts are starting to heat up a little bit. I need them to heat up a little bit more so I get max front grip here that I'm going to see for this race. I know for sure if I ran the super softs, this car would be scary. This would probably run even faster laps. But running super softs on an endurance or like a race like this where you have to pit stop and stuff like that, I don't know if the added laps that I would maybe get from running the super softs would be worth having to pit stop probably 4 times in the race. I probably need a car that's like twice as fast. Caught back up with the AMG that I lapped earlier. Get out of the way, please. I wish like the AI would respond to flashing lights and it could flash the lights in GT4. That's something I always thought was kind of cool that they included in 5, 6, and Sport. It was you could flash your headlights at cars. But it did nothing, so I don't see why it was even really a feature outside of maybe online races where people might actually adhere to that. If they're in the left lane on the on like Sarthe, for example, they flash your lights, you're supposed to let them by. So maybe that was what it was meant for, is for online races. If you have a lot of people in some slow cars, you can easily get around them. I would love to see like a Gran Turismo Le Mans. Like, you know, you get all the classes together. I don't know exactly how they could get a Gran Turismo game to handle having that many cars on track at once. I'd love to see it though. Oh, wall bounce there, not good. 5 laps to go, guys. We are in a really good position here. Probably the best way this race could have gone, really. Very proud of this car, and next race is going to be tricky. El Capitan, I had a bad blowout on the last lap in the GT1 because I was running all mediums and I chanced it. I'm probably going to set up set C with this engine setup, the big 1200 horsepower setup, with the endurance tire setup to see if maybe we'll be able to get a lot of endurance out of them and maybe even do really well in the race. Ooh, wall tap there. Alright. Last turn here. Clip that again. Way too sharp. With that turn, I seem to either clip that inside wall or clip the outside wall. There's no in between. Oh, this car burns up gas like it's nobody's business. If you guys are seeing the fuel level, we're at almost half a tank already. The GT1 was would probably be like 3/4 tank right now. This car is a hog on gas. It's like my real life car. Speaking of my real life car, if you guys did know, I actually have a automotive channel as well. That this channel is kind of a spin-off of, hence the 2 in the name. And if you guys wanted to see my real life stuff when it comes to cars and my plans on building kind of like a hybrid daily driver touring truck, go check that out. It's in the recommended channels, and I believe it's in the link in the description. I don't know for sure. But go check out my main channel, 1,300 subscriber channel, if that means anything to you. I try to post rather regularly. I haven't posted in a while because of, having to rebuild said truck. But I do plan on finally getting that home. I'm recording this a couple of days, like the day before I finally get to bring it home from the shop it's been at for 2 months, getting damage assessed from a fire. So we're going to do our damage assessment. There'll be a ton of videos up on that main channel. So if you guys like real life cars, is that the Minolta? You got to be kidding me. Am I about to lap this thing? I am lapping the freaking Minolta. How in the world am I about to lap this car? What? I knew this car was fast, but I'm lapping the second place car. When did I pass the Nissans? And I clipped that wall. This is not good. Go, 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 go. Lap 18, we got 2 laps to go. But I'm a lap up on the freaking Minolta now, which is something I didn't expect. So I think even if I have a pretty bad blowout, because I'm noticing that back left is getting a little cooked, we're going to be fine. And it's not going to be a problem. How am I a lap up on the Minolta? The fastest car in GT4. I'm a lap up on it. That is actually startling how fast this car is. I did not expect that. Yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of wheel spin in third, which is a little bit frightening. We got 1 more lap to go, and I think the car can take it. I think it's going to be close. We might start to have a bit of a blowout issue, but again, we're a lap up on everybody. I'm not worried about it anymore. I was definitely not expecting to be passing the Minolta. I expected that to be like a 25 lap, 30 lap thing, and even then after pit stops and stuff. Very frightening there, for sure. I was definitely not expecting that. Coming into second to last turn here, the rear right is now getting a little orange. So definitely glad we're on the final lap here, or I would be pitting if we had more than this. Closing in fourth. Nitrous up. Let's get out of here and finish this race up. .46.5 to close out the race. I believe that may have been our fastest lap right there. 15 minutes and 30 seconds, though. But that was crazy. I was not expecting mainly to go a lap up on the other Minolta in the race. Which is just kind of crazy. I mean, this is, granted, I was about to say it again, this is not a stock car at this race. It was at Hong Kong, but it's not here. Seeing a one lap next to the words Minolta Toyota 88CV is a little bit scary, not gonna lie. But I think that wraps up this episode. Episode 11, pretty solid kind of stuff. I mean, that was fantastic outing from that car, and I think before it closes out, I'm gonna set this car up for El Capitan for race for episode 12. Yeah, 12, and well, pretty much it's just gonna be the exact same setup as like the high horsepower build, but we're gonna run hard tires in the rear, so it's gonna be a mixture of setups 2 and 3. We're gonna dial down the ACS. I'm actually running traction control a little bit higher than I usually do. I usually put it on 1 for cars like this, but I'm going ahead and putting it on 3, which is what I've been using on the other setups. As far as gearing, that's what I meant to look at. I have it on the auto setting at 22, which is just what I'm going to do with this car again here. So lengthen out a little bit of the gearing because, again, this car is dangerously fast and it might need the gearing. But yeah, so we're on the endurance tire setup, so it's probably going to get a bit more wheel spin, but it's going to pay off in the fact I'm probably not going to have to stop as much. But yeah, that is kind of that for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed episode 11 of the Gran Turismo 4 Let's Play. Next episode, we've got El Capitan and I believe New York. And after that, I can't remember exactly what races are after that. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more content coming soon. And I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day, guys.